Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the International Fab Talks. It's a beautiful day. And yes, we are going to make it more beautiful for you because we have a wonderful celebrity with us. And she is Dr. Dipanjana Datta. And guess who she is? A genetic counselor who is going to share her expertise with us today and enlighten you on the topic genetics, on that very important aspect where you all have to learn and get to know more about this beautiful topic called as genetics. Dear ma'am, welcome to the International Fab Talks and thanks for being with us, dear.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for accepting the invite and thanks for being humble and gracing the occasion. Thank you. Dear ma'am, with your permission, I'd like to go ahead and introduce you in an official way.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Friends, it's our responsibility and, of course, a privilege, a honor to introduce our special celebrity every day. And today's special guest is Dr. Dipanjana Datta. She is a BGCI Level II certified genetic counselor and has 15 plus years of experience in the field of human genetics. That's really great, ma'am. She is the West Bengal Coordinator for Organization of Rare Disease India. Dr. Datta did her M.Sc in Biochemistry from Calcutta University and completed a PhD as well from the Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, Kolkata, that is IICB. She was a postdoctoral fellow from Oregon State Health University, OSHU, and as well Virginia Commonwealth University, VCU. She has published numerous articles and papers in numerous international journals of repute like PNAS, Journal of Nephrology, Plos One, International Journal of Gastroenterology, Kidney International, etc. Dr. Datta also holds a patent on a very special topic, discovery and validation of new biomarkers for metastasis in head and neck cancer along with other members. I'd like to repeat myself there for everyone out of you to get to know this, that ma'am is associated with lots of important work. She also holds a patent on a discovery on something called as discovery and validation of new biomarkers for metastasis in head and neck cancer along with other members. She's been a part of a beautiful team contributing for the growth of humanity and success. Dear friends, she's completed a PhD, a PDF in USA, BGCI Level II certified consultant, a genetic counselor, and of course the state coordinator for Organization of Rare Diseases India, ORDI. And today she has given us her time. She's a busy person, but she's taken out time, especially on the request of International Fab Talks. Why? Because we want to empower you and make you understand the importance of genetics in your life. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the International Fab Talks.
Hello. Thank you so much for the generous introduction.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much for being with us. Dear ma'am, we start off with the main round of the interview and getting to know about your profession as well. The first question, how would you define yourself? Who is the real you?
Real me is what you see. I am a very transparent person that way. So I am a very passionate person. I cannot do things which I don't believe in. So whatever I believe in, I try to work. I am a person who believes in action and not in words. So whatever I believe in, I try to put that back in action. I am a person who believes that, we are here where knowledge should be something which can be made into something which is useful. Knowledge is just not something that you read, write, and restricted to books. But knowledge, science, when it is translated from the bench to the bedside, that is the correct science, and that is how science needs to be seen. And that science needs to be incorporated in a way that it will help mankind, be it in any form. So the form which I have chosen is, of course, genetics, but it can be in many, many other forms. The other part of it, which I feel is very real about, it's something which embodies me, is that I'm a mother of 3 young children. And I also understand from their point of view the world, and it helps me understand my profession also better. So every day, I guess, we evolve, and everything, my work, my personal life, my travel, everything I do sort of redefines us and reprioritizes us. And that is how even I am there, and that is what I am.
How sweet. That's really nice. And you say you're a mom of three. That's,
Yes.
I mean, I was thinking you're still unmarried and you're just like a spinster. But when you said a mom of three, I said, wow, is this true?
Yes.
In spite of being a mother, you're so much into the field to help others.
Yes.
And you say travel and work and a mother as well. You're balancing it very well. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yes, dear. It's really great that we find people like you who are great mothers and at the same time great contributors to the society. And that is what every woman out there has to be, just like you. Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, how did you get into the field of genetics? What made you go into it and put all
Actually,
your energy?
rather than me going into genetics, genetics chose me. Let's put it that way. So when I was a child, my father, my grandfather, they were all scientists. My father was a rocket scientist, rather. So I wasn't too interested to go for engineering, but biology always allured me. And I loved biochemistry, like the chemistry I loved, physics I loved, but I was not really interested in engineering. When we were young, we were like, you interested in science would only mean two fields: one is engineering or medicine. So automatically my choice was to be in medicine. But when my father, being a scientist, he questioned me that why do you want to be in medicine? Like, what is it that you want to do in medicine? So my question was that I actually want to discover drugs, and I want to do stuff like, I want to discover a cure. I want to do something where it changes the life of the person. And this I said when I was like hardly in class 8 or 9, and we were, introduced science or like some part of biology that way. So my dad at that point said that, but this is not exactly what doctors do. Doctors treat. Mostly, if you want, it's basically discovery. Then you should choose a line where you are a scientist who is into, translational research. And that is where you will be able to develop patents. You will be able to, give the clinicians pointers where they can treat. So it's basically not in the clinic job, but it's a science job. It's a job of a scientist. So so my career goals were sort of redesigned, and I actually chose biochemistry. But while I was doing biochemistry and my basic science courses, the professors over here said that, see, if you want to actually do well, you need to actually go outside and get that. You need to actually go into genetics, because genetics is the subject. At that time, there was not too much about genetics. Genetics was a part like of many other courses that were being held. And at that time, I was very lucky to meet my later PhD boss, Dr. Shushanto Roy Choudhury. He is the person who introduced genetics as per se. And at that time, oncology was the only thing where we were speaking too much about genetics, and many genes were being discovered, many things were being done. And I made it a single point agenda to be working with him, under him. And I actually was lucky enough to give the exam, get into his lab. It was national exam, then we had to get into his lab. So when I started doing my PhD, and I was doing my PhD on a subject which was related, which was population genetics. And at that time, fortunately, Dr. Roy Choudhury was a part of the Indian genome variation, where we were trying to understand the Indian genome. And it was all over India. It was a pan-India project. And luckily, because I was in his lab, like many other students in his lab, I was also a part of that IGV project. So that was the start. But till then also, we didn't understand. Because we were working in the field of genetics, we used to do some amount of disease genetics or clinical genetics, because at that time it was not available anywhere else. So many clinicians used to collaborate with our bosses who were working in genetics, and we used to do these tests, and in a research mode and help them identify these diseases. But majorly it was oncology, a bit in the inherited genetic segments, but majorly oncology. uh, After completing my PhD, the natural course was to go outside for a PDF. When I went outside for a PDF, the first lab I joined was a neuromuscular lab, where they were actually looking for how our muscles are made and if we can regenerate the muscles and stuff like that. And there, for the first time, I heard the term of clinical geneticists. So my boss over there was one, and he was the one who said that you need to actually, do a course and come back, because I feel that you have a knack for it. So it was quite natural. I was doing my PDF, and then because he said, I joined that course, and because I joined that course, I started interning under him, and then I did my second PDF, which was on the similar lines. I did it on neurology, like I did it on the neuronal cells of the brain and the gut lining. So that was how I wouldn't say I actually chose it. I would rather say that it chose me. When I came back to India due to personal reasons, the first thing that happened was I was looking for a job, and I got the job in a genetic lab for the state. So it was like destiny for me, and from there on it went on to whatever it is now.
Thank you, ma'am, so much for sharing all of that. That's really a beautiful journey, and how you were fascinated by this beautiful fact that you wanted to contribute something to the society. And of course, your parents, your father, your grandfather were scientists, as you said. That's really nice. Dear ma'am, may we know how was your childhood? As a kid, how were you? The naughty one, the shy one?
No, not at all a shy one. I was extremely naughty. But not obstinate naughty, but my naughtiness was majorly because I was bored, so I had nothing to do. And because my father and my mother, the background I come from, my mother is very conservative. My father, being a scientist, was ask questions, be open. My grandfather were also that way. So we were raised among, so my father used to, because he was a rocket scientist, we used to see a lot of army kids. We were along with a lot of army people all the time, which made us very, exposed to a lot of, I would say, people from different places, which at that time, because there was no internet like what it is now, we got a lot of exposure in as a child. Another very influential person in my childhood was Dr. Abdul Kalam, who later became the president, but at that time he was boss of my dad. So that's why we grew up around him, and he used to encourage to question us, even like, why is this leaf like this, and why is this leaf not like this? Like, if we were in a holiday with our dad, he would come and ask us questions like, what new did you learn today? So, and we were probably 5-6 years at that time. So I would say, because he used to talk to us that way, and because of our home environment, we started asking a lot of questions as a child, and that was encouraged. So that helped in building us, and we used to travel a lot because of my dad. Because we used to travel here, there, and that built up us as a person. So if we were supposed to be at house, we used to get very bored. So that's why the naughtiness was more due to not being able to do stuff rather than anything else. But otherwise, as my childhood was very peaceful and very protected, and reading books and playing games. That's what it was.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing. That's really nice. Dear ma'am, may we know who is your inspiration? I guess it's your father and grandfather, or is it somebody else?
It's my father, definitely my father. There's no doubt it's my father. But frankly, I'll tell you in a different way. I'm inspired by people, like patients, I would say. When we were very young, we used to see patients, who used to ask, like, there's a very small story, like my grandfather on my mother's side. He was detected with an oral cancer, and he actually expired. And I was very small at that time. I was 5 or 6 years at that time. And at that time, the discussion of my mother with her, like my maternal uncles and all, was that if science is so great, then why can't it stop people from dying? And that was something, even at 5 6 years, I was very moved by it. And I kept on asking the same question, and I still ask the same question, that why can't we predict? Number one, if we can predict, we can plan. Second of all, why can't we come up with better diagnostics? Why can't we come up with better capabilities to intervene, stop the progression, or treat? So I would say my father was probably the strength which I had, and the training which I had. But probably these questions bothered me more than anything. Like, I don't know why. It still bothers me. But these questions that bothers me severely when somebody says that, that science is doing so much. If we are so advanced, then why can't we just, stop the loved one from dying? And that's a huge thing for me. And that's where all my research and how I have planned, or how I have chosen my research, is also based on. So that is probably the question that inspired me the most.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of that. Is there any book which you'd like to suggest today that, yes, this book could really inspire you, empower you?
Oh, so there are many books. I would say, actually there are actually a lot of books. So the first book, it's a bit odd, but the first book that inspired me, I read much later in life. Okay, so this book is called "A PhD is Not Enough." Okay, so this is a very strange book. This book actually says that if you do a PhD, do you think that you have learned a lot? What is your contribution to the society? And how is it helping you in your career growth? And how is it actually helping the society? So doing a PhD is nothing. It's just another degree. And how you plan your career is something more. So being in a family of academics, we are expected to do a certain we are expected to go a certain path. And I believe most of the kids in India are that way, that you first give your 10, then +2, then either you go for some sort of a professional thing, and then you start your profession. But doing that blindly, it's just PhD, maybe just a synonym for all these other streams. Just one degree, does it mean that that is what it is? That does it define you? Or there's something more? You need to look inside yourself and go ahead. The second book which inspired me a lot, I would say, like it actually is haunting to a certain extent, is a book of Ayn Rand called The Fountainhead. It's again an extremely good book. And it's actually tells you how there's a dialogue from Spider-Man, that with great power comes great responsibility, and also how you are actually alone when you are trying to change anything. So that is something which is I would say very inspirational. The other books, like, I have read all the religious books. I wouldn't name any, but there's something good from all the religious books, is that it actually says that you should respect humans as they are without judging. Like, every book says that. Every holy book, if you read, the you have so many characters, and these characters who are supposed to be goddesses, or prophets, all of them who are preaching, they have flaws. And then you are actually following them, but understanding that they have flaws. So that's also, I feel, a learning, that rather than passing judgment to anybody, everybody has something good, and we need to highlight on the good rather than their flaws, and then we have to build on that. So I would say there's nothing specific, but these two books have been very significant in my life. And I draw a lot of inspiration from travel rather than books. And traveling, I have traveled in places which people have not heard. Uh, I have lived in places, lived with people where nobody has reached. And I feel just the possibility and of their thoughts that this could happen. So in India, we still have a place where still there is no electricity or network. And for them, a simple information, digging out a simple information is like magic. So, just to be grateful of what we have achieved and what we have, and yet so many people are still in dark, is for me, in one way, both sort of adds as a fire and an inspiration, so that, we can reach out to them. Because, it's very easy to say that everybody has a smartphone. Maybe, but many people still don't have network and electricity. So that's a contrast.
Beautiful, dear. Thank you for sharing all of that. That's really very nice. Dear ma'am, how would you like to be remembered in this world, and why should people remember you?
Okay. It's a bit difficult to answer that, because I wouldn't want anybody to remember me. That's the first thing. Because I feel everything is very temporary and it's very passive, like it just passes out. See, today at this point, if I am not there, like, or if these are my last words, it would I remember my career? I won't. Would I remember like how much money I have? I won't. Would I remember what patents I have and what I did? I won't. But there is somebody who might remember it this way, that my child was saved because of an intervention. Somebody might remember it. Some stranger might feel that I met somebody who did an act of kindness, and that changed my life. So these things have happened, and people have come back and said, and it becomes, I believe it's not the name, or I believe it's not what you have achieved in life, but what impact you have on others' life. Like your name might not be there, but your actions or your acts of kindness or your actions of whatever uh, might be remembered by somebody. But still, that's temporary. I don't believe that, there are very lucky people who are remembered across generations, like maybe Rabindranath Tagore, or, maybe many other people who are very famous. But for people like us, I don't really see that we will be remembered. How many people know the name of great scientists in our country? Nobody knows. So I don't see it that way.
Yes, dear. Thank you for being very humble on that question. That's very nice. Dear ma'am, your favorite movie?
Oh, Life is Beautiful is one movie I loved. And there is another movie called In Pursuit of Happiness. These two movies are something which I love watching. Also, Three Idiots. Three Idiots is a movie I actually admire and adore. Just because of, there were so many things said in such simple way, that these three movies I really love.
Yes, dear. Thanks for sharing, ma'am. Have you been able to take off some time and go on a holiday? And if yes, not yet.
I do that so I do that every year. Around my birthday, I go on a 15-day trek to some place, and I do it as a religion for me.
That's really nice. Prioritizing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What is that one thing you like about yourself, ma'am? This is me, Dipanjana Datta. I love myself because this is the inner core quality within me. I love myself. I respect myself.
I love myself because I feel I am very non-judgmental, and I just admire this because of my dad. My dad always used to say that, whenever you feel that it's a situation which you feel that I wouldn't do it, you might not do it, but you don't know what situation made the other person do it. You are not in his shoes or her shoes. So this is something which we grew up with, and probably we have seen so many people, we have traveled so much. That's the reason why, even if you say something like something, very out of the box, I feel I don't have the capacity to judge at all, in the sense, not in the wrong way, but in the way that I believe every people or every person does something for a reason, for whatever their actions are. Sometimes we cannot define that reasons because we cannot understand their situations. So I feel that there are many people who open up to me, even just not patients, but also family members, friends, and even strangers, because of the fact that they feel this is a safe place. I am a safe place. And I rather than anything else, I believe that if in today's world I can give even 1% that safe place where they can openly talk to me about anything they want under the earth, I really love myself for that. And I love myself for the fact that I don't have any expectations from them, yet they can, be completely honest with me and open up with me, and also feel that I am their safe place. And that's just not only my daughters, but many people who have opened up. So that is one thing which I really find like I feel that is something which I've earned. So that's something I like about myself.
That's really nice, ma'am, to have that trust, where people trust you with something, trust you with their lives, trust you with their feelings. That's really nice. Sharing their things, their thoughts and views, maybe certain incidents. That's nice. Dear ma'am, as a school student, as a college student, did you ever take part in sports and games? And if yes?
Not games, like not exactly games, but I was a part of the sports team, and also but not that much. I was not very active, but I was very active as far as theater was concerned. Yes.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, what is that change that you would like to focus your energies into? What change you would like to bring into the world?
As I said, more accessibility. When we say accessibility to cure, accessibility to money. Just imagine that we see every day that you have a stadium right now. People are playing. You have a stadium worth so much money. You have so much luxury weddings, everything. I'm not against them, but then there are people who are dying for just 10,000 rupees. So if there was some way, money was accessible, or money was mobilized, or opportunities were mobilized, or even awareness was mobilized, that would help a lot of people. So I see a lot of resources which are going to waste, uh, primarily because of lack of awareness. Maybe there are people who want to help and people who need help, but they are not connected. So if there was one way, if it's just not financial resources I'm talking about many kinds of resources, in terms of opportunity, in terms of treatment, in terms of knowledge, in terms of many other things. Like if these two could be connected, where people have, they want to give, and people don't have and they need, then it would be great. So and that's something that we all should be working on.
What a beautiful way to answer that question, ma'am. Hats off to you for answering that. Brilliant. Yes, I really like the way you think about life and how to help others, how to create that, space for everyone.
Yes.
A positive space. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am, the difference between smart work and hard work.
Yeah, so this is a very classical example. Jobs and our Windows guy, right? So even a Mark Zuckerberg. So basically, see, hard work is something which though we say we do give a lot of emphasis on hard work, but working smart is needed. I might be working hard in a very blind way and missing all the opportunities. So I would say skill is one thing which many people have and they work very hard, but because they don't work smart, they lack the opportunities. So opportunities will only come with smart work and not hard work. So I will not say that hard work is not needed, but definitely smart work is needed. You cannot go away with smart work.
Perfect. That's really very nice. Thank you for sharing your views on smart work and hard work. You put it very nicely across the table. Very nice, with good clarity. Dear ma'am, what are your dream projects as of now and for the future?
So there are three things which I really want to do. Number one, we are trying for the rare disease awareness, and we are trying for the rare diseases to come forefront as a public health issue. And in that, I really want to see the Indian government start newborn screening, and I have been very vocal about it, and we're trying to put it in even in the basic setup. So that's something professionally I would like to see happen. The second thing is, there are lots of parents who have lost their children. On the other hand, we have lots of old age people who don't have people to take care of. So, and these are all rare disease parents and, rare disease affected individuals. So already ORDI has been working in building homes for these people. So I have seen in outside like outside India, there are very nice community centers which actually helps these people, and there's a community awareness which is there, which is not there for us, because for us these people are invalid and they sort of are outside the society, they stop living. That is somewhere I would like to bring a change. That is somewhere I would like to see it differently, happen differently. The other thing I would really love is something very personal. It's something where I would want people to, everyone, to not just focus on academics, but everyone to have a sort of like a dream project would be everybody has a hobby, in the sense they have time for that hobby and they prioritize themselves for that hobby rather than their career. Like it is something that again is inspired by the fact that we all give too much priority to earning in life, to have money and pay the bills, do the daily thing, yet we stop living for ourselves. Like we stop prioritizing us as a person, and we stop prioritizing our own needs. A hobby, a good hobby, helps us to remain passionate, also helps us to remain grounded in terms of frustrations when it comes to career, family, and other places. So this is also a level of mental growth. So I would really like people talk more about this and have a healthy society where this can be built. So for that, I'm actually trying quite hard to build small groups where people will come and do what they want as a hobby. They will pick it up and they will continue. Like for us, it's photography. When I travel, we do a lot of work with the photography part. And whoever is interested comes in, they join for free, they learn photography, they take it up, because right now phone cameras are there, everyone fancies a good picture. So that's how we like that's something which I would like to do. I do it through photography, but it can be anything.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing all of that. Thank you, dear. Dear ma'am, would you like to mention some of your best friends who stood with you through thick and thin?
Oh, see, there are so many people. I wouldn't name one because that would be a bit difficult. And there are so many people in different stages of life, I would say. And it keeps changing. In the sense that it's not that the persons are dispensable or anything, but the way we grow up, the way we age, we have people in our lives who play a very significant role. And it's like you are passing through stations, and there are few stations which are very important, you stop. But if you have to reach the last station, you need to go through all of these stations. So there are many people in my life. I would, if I have to name, it would be my dad, my mom, who are my best friends, I would say. And I have a few constant friends in my life. My ex-husband, there are a few friends who are actually who have been pillars in my life, and they know who they are, and I don't bother to take their names. But even now, there are people I meet who have had significant roles in my life, and it keeps growing. The list keeps growing. So just to name a few wouldn't be right.
Thank you, ma'am. Then very true. Like to name only a few wouldn't be right. And thank you so much for sharing all of that. And all the friends out there who are, having Dr. Dipanjana Datta as your friend, she sends a lot of love to all of you. And of course, we also from the International Fab Talks spread lots of love and happiness to each one of you. Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, what brings a smile to your face?
Oh, it's very easy. Just anybody buying me tickets for anywhere in the world, especially mountains. I love to travel. I love to trek. So anybody talking about travel or trekking brings a smile. But otherwise, just a good coffee and a conversation also brings a smile. So it's very easy.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, any weakness for chocolates, sweets? No.
I have a tremendous weakness for tea and coffee, but not anything else.
Great. You're very lucky then. Me, I'm tempted to have a sweet. Maybe after every interview, I feel like eating a sweet.
No, I am allergic to chocolates, so I can't have chocolates at all. Sweets are not that much a favorite, so I'm not a foodie at all. So not sweets, but tea and coffee I am addicted to. I would love I have tea and coffee, something like that all the time. So yeah, that's something I'm addicted to.
Is it green tea or like you?
It is what tea I have is chamomile tea and blue tea. And the coffee I have is basically monsoon malahar. So these two are my go-to things.
Okay, that's really nice. Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing. Dear ma'am, you've been into this field for a very long time, 15 plus years. From where do you derive your strength to continue your journey?
Again, from patients, from patients, from new things that are happening in the field. This field is very new. It's evolving. There's so much to learn. And and because this field is new, every day there are new discoveries that are happening. And it excites me every day whenever we see something new or we see a old case where we can do something new about it. It just triggers me to be better myself every day. So and then have that knowledge to help. So I try to develop myself, get that knowledge, and translate it back to the patients.
Beautiful. Dear ma'am, is there anything you're scared of?
Not really, no. Can't think of anything.
Do
Yeah,
you get
apart from a bit of my daughters, the way they are, or their safety, I don't think anything else bothers me. No.
Very true. I see a great mother in you. That's true. Dear ma'am, do you ever get angry?
Yeah, a lot. I do have my own temper issues. I do get angry, but it's not anger which I portray in people. Like I'm not very vocal about my anger, but I do get angry. Yeah.
That's very nice. I'm not vocal about my anger. I have to learn that from you. If I'm angry, no, I just let it out. I let off the steam. Then again, I calm down. So I
I'm
should
not very vocal about my anger, but yeah, I do get angry.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing. Dear ma'am, is there a special message you'd like to give all of us with regard to genetics and the work that you do?
With regards to genetics, I would say that ask more questions about your family. If you're planning a baby, especially, please understand your just not you and your siblings and your parents, but understand your family history, which means that understand the history of your bua, masi, your uncles from both the sides. And because you share the DNA, if something has happened over there, it can happen to you also. So there are ways to screen. So don't be scared and ask questions. If you ask questions, if you ask in the right places, you will get the answers. So it's better to ask rather than we feel sorry later that we knew it but we didn't know where to ask. So ask questions right now, especially people who are in the urban area have a lot of resources to their disposal. So it's very important to ask those questions. Second of all, if you see some family members or if you have history, please see a geneticist or ask your gynecologist which geneticist you should go for. There are a lot of ways to prevent a lot of things, and that can be done. If you have a child whom you feel that you have done all your homework and so you have been everywhere, still it's not giving you an answer, that's also a time when you should ask your primary physician that is this genetic? Not everything is genetic, of course, but is this genetic? Can I find the answer there? Because early interventions in many cases help. Early diagnosis helps. Take the screening tests which are available. Screening tests are available at pregnancy, when the child is born. There are a lot of ways. If you see your child not doing well, don't just say that he cannot do, that's why he's not doing. He might really have a learning problem, and that learning problem can be addressed. So as I would say, rather than losing hope over there that my child is not doing well in school, ask the question, what is bothering him? There's a lot of psychological issues in children. There are a lot of genetic issues. There are a lot of learning issues, many of which can be intervened. And with the correct interventions, these can be corrected. So if your child is again not walking, not talking, don't just feel that my child to walk. Somebody in the family walked late, so my child is going to walk late. No, ask questions. Go to the right people. If it is genetic, you will be referred, and you will get a diagnosis. And earlier the diagnosis, earlier it is to treat. So that is one part. The second part of this would also be the cancer part. So if you have a lot of family history, please ask this question, that am I at risk? Because right now there are prevention methods, there are surveillance methods where these can be done beautifully, and you can actually have an answer. And this answer can help not only save your life, but all your family members' life. So we need to be more open about what we feel is a risk, and we need to know our family history. That's number one. The second part would also be acceptance. Sometimes we cannot accept us the way we are. So it will be acceptance. And even after knowing, if you don't want to go ahead with a screening or surveillance, like I myself wouldn't do a genetic testing for breast cancer, though I have a very history, but that's my personal choice. But know it, understand what are the options and the opportunities, what is there at your disposal. You can obviously talk to any geneticist near you for all this. So don't feel that I will never have a genetic disorder. That's not true. And reach out and ask questions. So as far as genetics is concerned, that would be my top, my whatever words, as you said. And as far as the personal life, it would be, we do prioritize a lot on earning money and on living a very, affluent life. Like everything is towards what the children are doing, what we are doing, how we are placed in society. I would say take a step back, take 2-3 steps back, and understand what you want. Because, everything gets sorted out once you understand what you want. And if you don't prioritize yourself, your kids will also not prioritize themselves, and their life will be harder, because what we are facing, their life will be much more harder, because they will be so enjoy and celebrate life. Just don't live life. That's a very bad way to live. So enjoy and celebrate life. Whatever does not interest you, don't do it. Find something that interests you and go on with that. And it's not that I'm saying this because I'm in a state where I have money and I have power and I have things, but it's not like that. I have seen this. People who are passionate enough, they can turn anything into a profession, and there is no obstacles. There is something, there's a line which has been used in Hindi cinema by Shah Rukh Khan, but it's originally a line from Alchemist Paul Coelho, which says that if you want something, the universe conspires to give it to you. And that actually happens. Think positive, prioritize your wants and needs. It will happen. Everything will fall in place.
Thank you, ma'am, for that beautiful answer. Thank you very much. Towards the end, you really put a lot of positivity and said, enjoy and celebrate life, prioritize yourself. The universe is with you. Yes, that's really nice, ma'am. Thank you, and hats off to that wonderful answer. I really love that answer.
Thank you.
Dear ma'am, maybe now you know your favorite color.
White, actually.
Why?
I love white. It's not a color, but I like white.
Why so?
I don't know. I'm just too attracted to white. I love white. I love any pastel shades. But if you want me, like if you want me to pick something up, it would be white. So
Great.
yeah.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, would you like to share a favorite quotation or a quote or a proverb like that with us? Do you have one?
I will share a quote. It's called it goes like this, that the reality is an illusion, but a persistent one. So that's something which I believe, and that's my life quote, that reality is an illusion, but it's a persistent one.
Wonderful. Thank you, dear.
Thank
Dear
you.
ma'am, yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Dear ma'am, you've been achieving so many things over the past 15 years. Which was your wow moment and proudest moment?
Proudest moment was obviously the patent. The patent was something which I believed I had made myself and my family very proud. And it was something because as I said, my grandfather, when he was dying and he had this cancer, I had asked this question that what if I can know. And the reason was because there was a jaw surgery, and this patent exactly looks at that. So it looks at whether that operation is needed or not, and whether we can predict whether this will be spreading to the entire part or not. So that's something which made me very proud. Also, few things which I am really proud of is right now, in the state of West Bengal, we do have a rare disease forum, which has been inspired by Mr. Prasanna Shirol. It has been supported and inspired by Mr. Prasanna Shirol, who is the director of ORDI. And with his help, we could actually come up with this forum of parents, which is right now doing wonderful work, helping many patients, many families with food, with money. As I said, there are resources and people who need to be helped. So to a certain extent, not I wouldn't say it's functioning 100%, but it's at least functioning. It's at least there in place, and that I believe is an achievement. The other thing which I am really proud of is that we got smiles on many people's face where they had lost hope of having a healthy child. So that we have a number of couples, we have many couples who have conceived and now have healthy children. And that was all because of the insights of science. And just to see their smiling faces and them holding a healthy child in their arms and living a life which they never thought was possible is huge. It's absolutely huge.
Great. Thank you for sharing all of that. Thank you, dear. Dear ma'am, do you love pets?
I do. Yeah.
You have one at home?
I have 3 at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
3
like
dogs.
Okay. Yes, dear. Ma'am, how many languages are you conversant in?
I can fluently speak Hindi, English, and Bengali. I can speak a bit of French and Spanish because I was working in US. I can understand Nepali. I can understand Uriya. I can understand Gujarati. I can understand Assamese, and also I can understand Uriya. So these are the languages I fluently understand. I cannot speak. I speak very fragmented, but I can understand them very well.
Oh, great. That's really nice.
Hmm.
So no one, like when you among these people, and if they speak and you just know that you know that you know the language and they don't know that you know the language. So that's a great moment, right?
Yeah.
They will just think, they will speak anything, and so you will be at the next
No,
level.
actually, when we have to talk about ourselves, say I'm talking about my child, and you are in a rural area, obviously English is not what they would like to use, and Hindi is not something that everyone uses or knows very well. they do say it in the native language. So at least when they are speaking, and if I can understand, and in my broken whatever Uriya, Nepali, or whatever language I can explain, that would be that would make them understand. So I also have a nurse who is a translator who sits beside me when I'm counseling these patients. So that I am not saying the wrong thing also because it's an acquired skill. I haven't learned anywhere. I just have picked it up from the region. So that really becomes very helpful for them, and they can share a lot, because it's difficult for them to share it in Hindi, a language they don't know. But if they are sharing in their native languages, they can explain exact things, and that is what I need for my analysis.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing all of that, ma'am. Ma'am, would you oblige to sing a song for us in any one of these languages?
No. I am a very bad singer, and I don't have any such skills. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Because you know so many languages, so maybe one or two lines I thought you could.
No, I am a very pathetic singer. So I wasn't even given the chance in being in a group song. I am such a bad singer. So no, it's absolutely a no.
Okay, dear. Okay, ma'am. We come to this cup. How do you view this cup, ma'am? Is it half full or half empty?
I would say it is half empty. So because you always have an opportunity to fill it up, and so I would always say it's half empty.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. That's really nice. Are you a great listener or a speaker, or both?
Both.
Yes, dear. If there was the universe, if the universe offered you a superpower, or the Almighty said, yes, we are going to offer you and gift you a superpower, you could have this boon, what would you select?
Grant anybody's wishes. Have
Yes.
the ability to grant anybody their wishes.
Wonderful. How nice, you're not taking it for yourself, you're taking it for the entire universe. Let everybody's wish be fulfilled.
We do hear a lot of prayers for the parents, for their children, and it's just that I feel I'm extremely lucky that we have healthy children at home, and just looking at the strength of the parents who are suffering from rare diseases, and what they go through. And I really wish that there was something which I could just make their pain go off, and they live happily with their children. And when I say happily, it's just a very basic need of life, right? Just you are healthy, your child is healthy, and you have a healthy family. It's a very basic need of life, and everyone should have that.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, would you like to focus on red flags? Would you like to enlighten or create awareness today? Yes, these are the red flags. Stay safe. Many of us don't know that. It could be either of the genders. We are not aware that this is a red flag in our life.
Red flag would be people who are speaking negatively. You are trying to do something, and people are continuously saying this is not possible. Don't do this. This will not happen. आप ये कर नहीं सकते. This is something that will never happen. Can't ever happen. So that is a very big red flag. The way I define red flag is, if you are talking to the person might be very good, and might be talking to you also in a very good way, but try to read energies. Sometimes the energy of the other person drains you off. After you meet that person, you don't feel okay. That is a very big red flag for me. So even if the person hasn't harmed me or said anything to me, but it's just the intention, when you are speaking, and the way they are speaking, I don't know, I can pick that up myself, and I am seldom wrong. So I believe energy. So stay with the people who where your energy becomes greater, but stay away from people where you feel very drained off or you feel very lost. So for me, red flags are those. The other thing which I would say, that nowadays there's too much of these red flags and green flags. The other thing which I would say, listen to your heart. Your heart is the best way to say anything to you. There's nothing called red flags or green flags or anything of that sort. something called energies, like I said. There's also something called, don't try to justify when you know it is wrong. Sometimes our brain says, we have a conflict. And the conflict means there's a problem. Otherwise, there is never a conflict. We are always on the clear. So whenever there is a conflict, it can be due to many reasons, but any conflict is basically a situation which shouldn't be, and you are trying to sort of compromise or manage or force. So those would be red flags, even if you are doing that to yourself. Maybe you're getting up and going to a job and you have to drag your feet. That is a red flag also. So, I wouldn't define people as red or green flags, but I would definitely read energies, and I would definitely read, if there is a conflict, like if I don't feel confident and my heart and brain are not in the same place, then there must be some problem. Definitely.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. I love the way you said energies. Yeah, even sometimes I meet certain people, they haven't said anything, but I don't, there's something that I don't like about
It's
them.
off.
That is that gut instinct that something is wrong with this person.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a look, or maybe it is just the way they pass through, or it could be just anything. It could be a relative also at certain points of time. They are also with that negative energy. When you just come across them, you know that, no, this is not the person to be in front of me at this moment, and I don't like it. I really thank you for sharing that energies. This is very nice. And I began to think and ponder over what you've shared now. That's wonderful. Yes. Dear ma'am, would you like to speak about mental health and how it affects us?
It's a very, very important aspect. So this is something which, I am grateful. When I was practicing in US, they had this mandatory mental health checkup. So every professional had to go once a month, even if you had no issues which you can diagnose yourself with. So this is something which is extremely important, and this is something which should be done. There are 3 or 4 reasons why. Because, as you pointed out the glass and you said half empty or half full, the basic thing is that we need to empty ourselves. If we don't empty ourselves, there's no way we can fill in. If you keep on filling things, it will explode. Be it a box, be it a cup, be it anything. To empty it, you need to know what to empty. If you don't know your traumas, you will not understand what to empty. And this cannot happen with you yourself introspecting or contemplating. This has to happen for you to understand what is troubling you. You might not even understand what is troubling. So that is the reason why going to a mental health specialist is extremely important. The second thing is, many people say that, I'm doing this for the family, I'm doing that for the family, I'm doing this for my profession, I'm doing that for my profession. The fact is, we don't do anything for anybody. We are very selfish people. We do everything for ourselves. And if I don't take care of me, I will not be able to take care of my career, neither my children. This is something which my psychiatrist said to me long back when I was pregnant with twins, and I was like, how will I manage? The person said, prioritize yourself, everything will fall in place, number one. Number two is that if you are happy, your children will automatically learn to be happy. And whatever you do, they will mimic that. And today, when my children are quite grown-ups, they are like teenagers, I do see that. I do see that, because I listened to them at that point, I really see that reflected in my children. They are actually, they understand to prioritize themselves. And because they know, they also understand this is a place where I shouldn't be, this is a place where I should be, and they prioritize themselves more than anything else. And that has helped them to value their time, themselves, and that has helped me to become a better mother. Because I can say to my kids, see, I had a very tough day, so today I am not in a mood to, do a certain thing. The saying no and saying yes becomes very important. And you shouldn't deny yourself that. No matter what you do and what you compromise, I believe if you are going on compromising, then there is a point where you will break. So you need to prioritize yourself. You need to put things in you so that you can empty that and put things more and, be happy about it.
Much appreciated, ma'am. This answer, much needed. It will help many of the people out there to prioritize themselves. And if they are in a good state of mind, in a positive frame of mind, they'll be able to do much more. And you said,
the
yes,
pediatricians had said, happy mother makes a happy child. So, and I do believe.
Very true, ma'am. This really pricked me hard, because I can get what you say, what you're trying to convey. I've seen many of the children out there, they are just suffering in pain, seeing the parents in pain, especially the mother. And when they become adults, they are in trauma, seeing the mother suffering. And when they become adults, they're unable to adjust. And they
can't, because that they haven't seen. They haven't seen the mother say no. They have just seen the mother compromise. So that's what they learn.
Very true. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. You have a lot of wisdom, ma'am. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Ma'am, the next question coming up. If you had a chance to go into the past, if there was a time machine given in your hand, assume this in your hand, it's an imaginary question. You had to click one of the buttons and that would take you deep into the past, whose life you would like to relive. And the task is go there and relive somebody's life. So, aap kiska life relive karna chahte hain?
This is tough. Relive somebody's life. Okay. Might be Rosalind Franklin. I really would love to know what happened to her. So yeah, Rosalind Franklin, the way she's the one who discovered the structure of DNA, but couldn't complete it, couldn't interpret it totally. But she's the one we owe everything to. So yes, Rosalind Franklin, or maybe Gregor Mendel, somebody like that.
Yes, please. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Dear ma'am, do you forgive others easily? Yes or no?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself with regard to forgiving others?
Like 1 being me not forgiving and 10 being me forgiving?
Yes.
Okay, 10.
10 on 10?
I am very easy on forgiving people.
Oh, superb. That's really nice. You asked me?
Huh?
Yes, dear, go ahead.
But I don't trust that person again. So that's something else. So I don't hold any grudge against anybody. I don't have any enmity or any grudge. I don't hold it against that person. But if you say that I have to trust that person again, I'll think twice. So forgiving is not a problem.
Superb, ma'am. 100 on 100. I really love this answer. I mean, I didn't get this answer before. I forgive them, but I don't trust them.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, and that is a clarity which I needed. Because there are people who I forgive, but I can't forget. And I can't trust. Actually, I needed this word trust. Yeah. I've forgiven many. It could be my siblings. It could be whoever it is.
Yeah. Forgiveness is not a problem.
Yes.
Because I don't want to stop my life and, feel angry or feel, again, that loss of energy because of that. So I forgive them for whatever they have done. But to actually trust them again would be a challenge. That would be a challenge. Like, I wouldn't include them in my life. Like, I would talk to them, do everything with them, but there will be a boundary from my end regarding to sharing my life with them. That wouldn't.
Perfect, ma'am. I'm really feeling good, after listening to this, because I was in a dilemma as to, yes, I'm able to forgive, I'm not able to forget, but then what is the big question mark that was? Because I can't trust them again.
Yeah, that's trust.
Today you are a healer here. In respect, to this particular question, it has really brought some type of relief to me. Yes, you can't trust somebody. You have to have those boundaries, forgive them and let go. Beautiful. And not only me, I think whoever watches this video definitely will benefit from this wonderful answer of yours. Dear ma'am, we have one last main question and then go into the rapid fire round. How would you look at constructive criticism?
Growth.
Great. Constructive criticism. Just in one word you said, right?
Yeah.
Criticism is growth. Dear ma'am, we have another session just for 5 minutes called as the rapid fire round. I'll just take another 5 minutes.
Sure.
May I, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, dear. Dear friends, it's time for the rapid fire round. We've had a wonderful learning experience, getting to know all about ma'am's profession and, of course, her likes and dislikes as well. It's time now for the rapid fire round. Dear ma'am, a perfect day in one word.
A trek in the mountains.
When you help others, do you expect anything in return?
No. Then it's business.
City, town, or a village?
Village.
Land, water, or air travels?
Land.
Which season you prefer?
Winter.
If it is cakes, chocolates, and ice creams, what would you select? Ice cream. Which flavor?
Vanilla.
Are you a great cook?
No.
Your favorite cuisine?
Thai green curry.
The name of your favorite teacher or sir when you were in school?
I actually have a favorite teacher, like two favorite teachers. One is Dr. Sushanta Roy Choudhury. He made me who I am today. And another is Dr. Jukto Adhikari. He actually, for the first time, brought genetics in my life. So these two people, yes.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Both. I hardly sleep.
Salty, sweet, or spicy food? Or sour food?
Spicy.
Spicy. Life is all about money, all about happiness, or both?
Happiness.
You consider yourself to be an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert?
No, I am. I wouldn't say I'm an extrovert. I would say I'm the exact word would be androvert. Like I open up to people I trust, but I'm not an introvert.
Okay, so you're between the introvert and extrovert, being an ambivert. That's really nice. When you're alone, ma'am, in your room, nobody's there, no gadget, you're connected to your thoughts. And where do your thoughts take you? Into the past, into the future, or the present?
Difficult, depends on the day actually. But in general, if I am with myself, I just enjoy the moment. I switch off.
Yes, dear. Is it socializing or me time that you prioritize?
Me time.
Are you a thinker, a doer, or both?
Both.
Do you believe in experiential learning or theoretical learning?
Both are necessary, I would say.
Yeah. Perfect. Fresh fruits and salads or fried food?
Fried food, yeah.
Fried food? Is it? Yes, dear. You love home-cooked food or food ordered from out?
Home-cooked.
Is it the beach or the forest?
Neither. Mountains.
Oh, great, great. I should include that next time.
Yeah.
Yes, dear. Is it walking, trekking, two-wheeler, or a four-wheeler?
Trekking.
That's nice. On a table, there's a beautiful book, interesting book, and great music system. What would you lay your hands on first?
Book.
One last question, ma'am. Dear friends, we know that there are three magical words, ma'am. We all know that there are three magical words. Please, sorry, and thank you. Apart from that, we would like you to add additional three words to create magic in our lives.
God bless you.
How nice. God bless you. That sums up everything. As you've been sharing all of it, the superpower that you want everybody's wish to be fulfilled. So you say, God bless you. That means whatever you need, let God grant you all of that. So, you get a connection from what all you've been sharing towards the end. When we asked for the three main words, it just came out of you spontaneously, out of your being. God bless you too, ma'am. And thank you so much for your time. I had a wonderful time with you. And thanks for that particular answer, which you said, you can forgive the person, but can't trust the person again. And that was, my search was somewhere there, and I've got that answer today.
So glad.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would love to have you on many more sessions. I'd love you to have a special session only on genetics to let the people know actually what it is and how they could benefit from it.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pat.
Thank you. Have a lovely time. Thank you. Dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks. Thank you for being with us. Stay safe. And of course, spread the word of joy, peace, and happiness across the world. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.